And we're live that entire time. Newcastle native Mall Grab, I've always liked grime. And then we had Feeling Good, Broken Ears, sampling the beautiful, the perfect Loletta Holloway, and that track Love Sensation. I think that's one of the most sampled tracks of all time. And just then, an absolute hurter, Riverside remix to Jamo and Sydney Sampson on that Martin Garrix tip back in the day. Where are we leading the conversation now?
Mate, I'm pretty sure it's like you're an AFL player and you've just like, what are you laughing at?
I'm allowed to laugh.
It just implies that it's stupid by me, and maybe it was, but you're an AFL player in Melbourne, like you're into music highly, you've got the Orcs, you're obviously so passionate, those songs kind of would reflect the scene a little bit. You produce music.
Yeah.
You bust out Ableton, hardcore, use the synths inbuilt in Ableton and like create waveforms to make sounds and arrange them in a big pattern so that you have a complete song. Tell us how you got into producing music, where you're at with it, the skill itself. Like we could have a discourse on this. So just start from the start, bro.
Yeah, man. Obviously that producing side of things comes from DJing and playing songs.
What was first for you, like wanting to make music or wanting to DJ?
DJing.
Yep.
I've got my first decks when I was 17, so just before I got drafted.
Do you remember what they were?
DDJs, DJ something. I can't remember.
So with the CD you had to put in it?
No. So you plug it onto a laptop.
Yep.
And then there's the software Serato on the computer.
Cool.
And that's where you're just ripping songs off YouTube.
Yeah, just destroying
Stripping the audio.
Oh yeah.
What was it called? Crack torrent or something you were using?
Crack torrent. Oh, but no, it was
Back in the day.
Kick-ass torrent. Kick-ass torrent.
So now you're getting music that illegally still on Kick-ass torrent, and you've got these decks, man.
Yes. So yeah, the love of music obviously stemmed from obviously playing stuff for people at the club, and then friends, and then eventually kind of went to, hey, like I like mixing tracks. I like putting this and this together. I like blending tracks together.
Yeah, it's like having a 16-bar sample of a vocal over the intro of another track, and you're like, I'm creating something.
Hell yeah.
But I need more buttons to press.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with DJing. Yeah, when I was 17 years old. And I found we found AFL. I feel like AFL has a lot of, so you play games and there's a lot of time sometimes, and you can kind of get lost. Some people like to study, and I studied the first couple of years, diploma of business, and I wasn't really enjoying it. And I was like, look, I just need to do something else. And obviously being injured for that long as well, I found I was very lost at the time. I wasn't playing, I wasn't training. So I found as though like laptop and downloading Ableton was probably the best thing that I did when I was injured at that time.
Was it illegally torrented and licensed through the third party thing?
Yeah.
This one cost me a fair bit.
Brian knows about that?
This one cost me a fair bit.
Yeah.
Straight out of my pocket, this one. Damn. Hurt.
Hey, tax deductible soon though, homie.
Oh, hopefully. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, downloading Ableton. So I started with FL Studio at the start. I found I was so limited with that. I spoke to a lot of producers. I had a few mates that play out and stuff like that, and just starting to become producers and stuff. And I spoke to them on what they used, and they said, obviously FL, everything does the same pretty much, but with Ableton, you're able to, I found that with automation, I do a lot of automation in my productions, making things move.
What does automation mean?
So it's like pretty much just making things move around you, in terms of like the cut off of the song of the bass, taking away an EQ seamlessly by itself, instead of like just leaving it there.
Yeah.
So you can kind of go in and out with it. Little things like that, I find that kind of makes a really good song. I love hearing songs when people make songs. Little details like that, I find it might be a little small for others, but I find that it's fucking unreal for me, and just stuff like that. And so I found it with Ableton that is really good. That's kind of one of the reasons why I went with that. And So I've started producing, not started, but started pretty much getting better. I found my sound. A lot of the sounds that I like is so there's a guy called Goosey. I think he's UK or Italian, somewhere in Europe. He does minimal tech house, and he's an unreal artist that I love. And obviously Melbourne sound as well, with the guys like Dom Dollar, as I mentioned before, and Torren Foot. Those guys have really paved the way and the sound they make. And I really do admire the stuff that they put out, and I really do like producing that side of things as well. So I'm keen to explore a lot more. Obviously, I'm still early days with my production. I've put out a few songs on SoundCloud at the moment, but my goal is to eventually play a song, create a song for a label, and obviously go on Spotify and yeah, hopefully it does well.
Have you ever tried to produce any hip hop music?
I have not. I haven't. It's I haven't.
Is there a reason for that? Do you think there's like a production hierarchy or anything like that?
No, it's. I think it's. Obviously, I'd love to be on the voice of my track one day, and I find that with hip hop, it's very limited. I'm not a lyrical genius or anything. I could have a ghostwriter like Drake or something to just help me out there.
No, I mean, yeah, more production. Like you go and get anyone, man. Posse Shot, any sort of sick local crew. Shout out Posse Shot. Hope you come on the pod one day. And again, or even like sort of that African community that you spoke about that rap's really prolific, and some crew in the scene was a bit more off the off record, but even get some of those guys to hop on. Yeah. Would you want to give them a little shout out? Who are those crew that you were talking about before?
So we've got I've got a cousin of mine called Nyon, Nyuon. He's an artist from Oakley. One of the guys that definitely, as I said, there's a guy that's got the computer with a lot of songs. He was one of the guys as well that helped him with a lot of songs. So he's got a Spotify actually. I should play some songs for you guys. Unreal artist.
We've still got some time. What is it on Spotify?
Nyuon. I'll give him a shout out. He's a star, man. He's unreal rapper, lyrical, and yeah, he's just one of those guys that you just, we're
gonna go straight there. A track by Nyon.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
Nyon. Yeah. Thank you. And UK native Goosey after that, and we'll be right back.
I like it.